What is up? It's Tuesday. You know what that means. We get to talk about ways to help you save on your taxes. Today we're going to talk about interest expense. It is one of the number one things I see people leave off their tax return. Almost all types of interest you can write off on your taxes. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, there are tons of different ways to write off interest. Things people don't even think about and leave off all the time. Number one, the easy one, interest on any loans you have with your bank. From a business or an entrepreneur or a startup standpoint, that's loans, that's line of credits, that's home equity loans you're using for your business, anything you're using from that aspect. Number two, credit cards. Credit card interest is missed all the time. Make sure you're writing off credit card interest if you're using it for business purposes. Vehicles, interest on your business vehicles, equipment, tractors, trailers, all those things you're using from a business asset standpoint, things you purchase, things you're financing through a bank, through a credit union, through the dealership, through a financing company, whatever it is, that interest is a write-off. So it's really cool when it comes to business assets. You get to depreciate and write off the asset, and then you also get to write off the interest if you finance it. So you win on both sides of that thing from a tax deduction standpoint. Now let's switch gears and talk about the personal side. There's still things you can write off on the personal side. You can write off interest on your personal residence. You can write off interest on a second home or a vacation home. You can write off interest if it's a traditional mortgage, if it's bank financed, if it's a construction loan, if you're building, if it's a home equity, a second loan on your home. If it's something that's owner financed or privately financed for you, whether it's through a family member or through a seller, if you're paying interest in some sort of principal, you can write that off as a tax deduction. So as you can see, if you have an interest expense on almost any level, you can write it off as a tax deduction standpoint. The only thing that really falls outside of that is normal personal credit card interest. If you have just personal expenses and personal credit card interest, you can't do much with that. But if you can find a business aspect to it or a credit card you're using for business startup, entrepreneurship, or business, then you can definitely write it off. Even if it's not in the business name, it can be in the personal name as long as it's business use and the business is paying the payment and the interest. I hope that helps you today, because remember, it's not how much we make, it's how much we keep, and we want to keep as much of our tax money as we can in our pocket. Have an awesome day and see you again soon.